Hello. Before I get into what we're going to do today, there's a few things I want to say because I didn't say it while the Zoom meeting was already ongoing. First of all, is that I would have loved to have done it in the Wotan Shack. Unfortunately, the moment that I sat down, it started thundering and raining, which would have been very loud on the roof. It would have drowned out a lot of sound. And also, I have to be here in the house because the gnome sleeps, my mini man, my toddler, sleeps under the roof. And if he hears my voice downstairs, he's less likely to get afraid. So it's best that I am in the house when the weather gets like this. Another thing I would like to say before we get into it is that when I do these readings for clients, it is going to be a little bit less rushed. I leave room to for people to ask questions. Now, of course, considering who we're doing the reading for today, the it is very unlikely that this person needs to ask questions because she already knows, basically. All this is just going to be a confirmation for a lot of things. Nevertheless, I'm very happy and excited and honored to do this. But I do wish to preface it with this, that if you book this kind of reading with me, we take all the time we need. You can ask all the questions you want afterwards. If you want to have certain runes that you want to have a follow up on, meaning we do an extra bit of rune pulling for those, we will. If you have any follow up questions that you feel you want to have more runes pulled for, we'll do that too. It's not so much a singular reading as it is a session in which we explore your past life. And if we have to pull more readings, more runes than the ones that are already in the format, then we will do that. And I just want to say this. I wanted to have this made clear because indeed it does it may seem a little bit rushed, as you're going to see in the reading that is to come. Anyway, let's get right into it. Welcome, everyone, to a long anticipated episode that I'm going to do. I am going to do a past life reading for somebody who needs absolutely no introduction at all, but I'm going to anyway. The renowned, the honored Freya Aswynn herself. And what I'm going to do is do a past life reading for her. And I do have to say beforehand that this is a reading that Freya herself came up with, but I just really like it myself. It just, I seem to have better success with it in general. And another thing I would like to say beforehand is that there is no way of knowing whether we are connecting to your immediate past life or a past life. There is no real way of knowing that. Now, of course, the person I'm doing the reading for may have a better feeling of that than I do. But one thing that I can assure, and I have done this reading for several people now, we will connect to the past life that still has the most impact on your current life that you're living now. And we'll start right away. There are quite a bit of runes. Got to take this ring off. There are quite a bit of runes in this, so bear with me for a moment. We're starting off very interesting. Right. So we have 15 runes in total. And I'm going to follow the exact format that you came up with yourself, with the exact same questions attached to it. Who were you in a past life? You were a vulva, for sure. It's better reversed. So you definitely had the ability to look into the past. And if you look far back enough in the past, then you basically see the gods, talk to the gods. So you definitely had a good handle on that. There might have been a little bit too much emphasis on the past and not the future, which that can happen in this line of work because the, if you if you don't know where you're coming from, it's really hard to know where you're going to. So all those things are very, very much connected. And that is just the nature of the weird as well. You everything is connected, the past, the present, the future. And since recently there are even theories that we in the present can affect the past through acts of magic and quantum mechanics, which is very interesting.
Yes.
Were you married or in a stable relationship? No. And you also really didn't want to. Your intuition screamed at you that that is something that you absolutely wouldn't have wanted for yourself in that life. I mean, the idea of being married was something that was very counterintuitive to you, and you probably followed through with that. Were you happy? Yes, and you became increasingly happy during the course of your life. Even if you started out maybe not too happy, it definitely became happiness later in your life. How that happened, we don't know. What kind of work did you do? Something related to your tribe. You worked for your tribe, for your homeland, for your people, for what is yours. Everything that you were born into is also what you worked for. And I can only suspect that is a tribe of people because you weren't married. So it is unlikely that it would have been children. It's not impossible, but it's unlikely. Were you an honorable person? Yes, but you were stubborn, extremely stubborn, and that sometimes worked in your disadvantage in that life. And that may have had people not think of you as a dishonorable person, but at least a person that may be hard to get along with at times. You did it your way and or your way or the highway. And while that doesn't make you dishonorable, it certainly can make frictions happen in a societal scale. What type of challenges did you have? You wanted to win. You always wanted to come on top as the winner of everything, which also ties in very well with being extremely stubborn, which I mean, it's neither here nor there. It's a personality that one has. And that is a personality that can bring people very, very far in life, for sure. But it definitely comes with its own set of problems, meaning that, yeah, relationships with people may be contentious at sometimes. Um, were you famous or what was your social standing? You were infamous. You you weren't known as a liar, although there may have been a trickster side to you, especially towards people that you didn't like. And you didn't feel like certain people actually deserved complete honesty, or maybe that they had to be taught a little lesson in sometimes underhanded ways. Not always, but that was a side of your personality that definitely made you infamous at the time. Not feared, I would say, or not by everybody, but there was a subset of people that definitely did have fear for you, and that was probably for a very good reason as well. How was your health? When you're reversed, it wasn't very good. It was something that could make you quite unhappy at times. Now, did that happen later in life, or were you born with it? It's hard to say, really. Maybe at the time you didn't have good uh, people that could help you with that. That's very difficult to say, but yeah, it was definitely something that caused you some unhappiness during the course of your life. How did you die, or the circumstances of your death? Well, now it is affected. It can't really be reversed, but it wasn't a pleasant death at all, I would say. It could have been related to your health, possible. It seems to me that it was a struggle, but I don't necessarily get the feeling that it was an unnatural death either. Um, just because of the rune you had before this. How was your health? Not that great. So it might have been that eventually you just succumbed to ill health in general. What exactly was it? It's really hard to say, but I have the feeling that you did struggle at the end of that life, and that it was unpleasant and quite possibly quite painful as well. Did
Well,
you?
now notice the room notice itself. The image in my deck is an old woman making fire. So the notice rune could be either freezing, starving. This is for your future reference in other readings if it comes up. But also it could be respiratory
Oh,
issue. I mean, we're talking about a 9th, 10th century life here.
yes. Yeah. All of those are quite horrible ways to die, I have to say.
Yes,
Freezing is
yes,
it's painful. It's not just you get sleepy and you fall asleep, not at all. And
no.
starving or free, yeah, it's you wouldn't quite wish it on anybody. It's possible
No,
that
I disagree with that.
fair enough. Fair enough. It could have
I've
been
got
a
many
general
lists.
famine.
They never will be missed.
Wow. I'm going to go on
But
to the next rule. Did you have a soul tribe or soul mates during that life? Yes, I would say so. And you definitely wanted to find them, and you wanted to connect with those people, definitely. And I think you had a good connection with that also with them, and that over time that actually grew into a deeper relationship that you had with them. As it goes with relationships with people, it doesn't happen quite overnight. Excuse me. 11. Your present partner, was that somebody from your past life? Now, in your case, I'm going to assume a past partner. Yes, absolutely. And the likeliness that you were close in that life would be very high, I would say. You had a very good relationship with that person in your past life as well. Very, very much. Tricky. Oh, wait. Is a current partner connected to your past life? Well, no, because there is no current partner, if I'm not mistaken. It's all gone now. 15, 13. Is there any karma or weird in this life connected to the past one? Yes, absolutely. Yes. very, very, very much even. It's a very, I mean, unique rune to get in a position like that. I would say yes, absolutely. Now, what that is, I can't know. Maybe you don't even know. Maybe it's not knowable, but maybe you do. And maybe only you can know what that is or what that could be. But it definitely has something to do with spirituality, I would say, with the passing through the nine worlds, with the passage of the in between the worlds, which makes sense considering you're a vulva in this life too. It seems to carry over in life, it seems. Were you spiritual or religious? Yes, very much. It's the rune of the exchange of gifts between people, but also between people and their gods. Something for something else. Will you reincarnate after this life? Yes, but you might take your time with it. It seems that you live a
It's not
lifetime.
necessary on this planet neither.
Oh, that's possible. That is possible. But yes, you will reincarnate. And what you say though, it's if you have to follow the cycles, maybe this is winter for you, this life, earth life in Midgard. And then you go to spring and summer and fall, which are different realms in the nine worlds, to eventually you decide, oh, okay, let's go give it another try. Maybe. Or maybe not. Who knows?
No.
No.
The way this world is going, it's gonna be bad.
Yes.
We are in or just about pre-Ragnarok, you know, and I can't see there's any comeback from this, you know. After the Kali Yuga is finished, yes,
It does mean that most will perish.
well, that isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No.
There's too many fucking, well, you know what, occupying space, oxygen thieves,
Let's call them
you
NPCs.
know, NPCs, yeah.
Is there anything you would like to do a bit of elaboration on?
Well, I think you've been actually very spot on. Yeah, this format, it just didn't work for me. It was meant for you, love. It was meant for you.
Oh, I'm very glad you taught us because the few people that the people that I have done it for, they were really happy with it and actually confirmed
Yeah,
research that they have been
yeah.
doing.
Well, I am. Yes, because it makes totally sense. This life is basically a continuation of the other life as a vulva. And, this would be by means of the subject matter be pre-Christian. And that also implies short, hard lives with ill health. I've got a past life photo of a skeleton they reconstructed of a Frisian priestess from the 5th century, 4th, 5th century, pagan period. And the bone structure is like mine.
I saw that picture
So
on your Facebook and it
I
is
think
you
that is
almost.
the life. I think this is the life you plugged into.
Yeah. 1 second. My cat is making a hell of a noise. Sorry, she was knocking things around. I couldn't hear you quite well.
But anyway, yes, the first one coming up was Petro. I could have predicted that. I knew that if that would come up, it would be a tell.
Yeah, I mean, the first rune, who were you? And you get the Petro rune. Whether it is reversed or not, just in itself is extremely telling. And then you
Yes,
have some other runes coming up that are, well, extremely telling, I would say, like the Otala and the Dagas rune specifically,
yes,
in the positions that they fell in. It's
yes. Yeah, I think you should put this up on YouTube as a sample reading, you know, with an advert, with
oh,
your
definitely. Yeah,
your
yeah,
complete
definitely.
details, when that people can schedule a reading, you know.
Absolutely. Because
And once you got a copy of my book, can you afford to buy it?
yes, absolutely. It's just that I'm waiting for a physical copy to be available in Italy, and I think that is possible via Amazon right now.
But I've got there is an Amazon Italy is on the list.
Okay,
I
good.
mean, Bob sent me a list of URLs, Amazon URLs, and Amazon IT was in it. So just keep an eye on that,
Yeah, I will.
because then then you can read it and then do a verbal review
I will do that.
on
Yeah.
your YouTube. And you know, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind it at all. The book that we're talking about is Walking with Wodan, by the way.
Yes.
I will leave the general Amazon link in the description if people want to buy it. It's a highly recommended reading, I would say. The reviews have been extremely positive because I've read them. But I'm
Yeah,
just
I've
waiting for the physical copy to be available for me because I really don't like reading on a screen. It's
no,
distracting.
I don't either. I no, I can't. It does me head in,
Yeah.
you know. No. But a lot of people, especially, they buy, even if they buy the Kindle version because they can have, and I know at least two people who stop buying hardbacks altogether because they just load up their tablet with Kindle and audio. And it's convenient, it doesn't take up much space, and when they're traveling, they just read their tablet rather than lugging big books about. So it is convenient, but I don't think it's good for your eyes, really.
I don't go
I mean,
anywhere anyway.
all those youngsters, they're all spending their time on a screen 24/7. By the time they're middle aged, their eyes will be fucked.
Luckily, I can put mine outside.
Yeah, but you make sure that your little gnome has limited access to screen.
Mm, absolutely.
You know,
He only gets to one cartoon. That's it.
nice, nice. Yes, outside is healthier. Yeah, this is the old ways. You bring them up, you know, get them to make a den, you know, with animals and
That's a
tree
great
houses.
idea. When the weather
Yeah,
clears up, I'm gonna start making him a little shelter outside. That's great.
yeah. Give you some more private time as well.
Oh yeah.
You can just tell them to fuck off.
Give it a year or two, and you might just not even want to come inside anymore. No. I'll
Yeah,
bring him his
yeah, but
food.
it's healthy, you know.
Yes.
It's so much more healthier than sitting in the bedroom looking at the fucking screen.
No, that's a sad way to grow up.
It is, it is.
No.
Us boomers really had the best time, you know.
Mm.
Me individually not, but my generation had a good time, you know.
I was of the generation that had the absolute luck of being able to spend their childhood without the internet or without computers. Once I became a teenager, it was over.
Ah, yeah, well, we didn't even have a phone
True,
or or a television.
true.
You know, I go way back to the 50s. Yeah.
Yeah. Symptoms of the Kali Yuga.
Anyway, thank you very much for the reading. It fits very well, and I recommend people to have this reading because it really confirms things. Because as soon as the first rune comes up, it clicks or it doesn't.
Mm. Yeah.
And I am very happy. Tina, this format works better for Tina than it works for me. I won't be using it, you know. I've got enough uh, stuff like 9 worlds and the 3 ads I work with.
Yes. If anybody would like a reading from Freya, I will link her website in the description and in the comments as well, because on her website there are quite a few readings to pick from. And
Uh,
everybody that I've heard getting a reading from her was extremely happy with it as well. So please do get a reading from Freya if you feel so inclined. Highly recommended. Right, I think
thank you.
we're nearing the end anyway,
Yes.
so we might as well end it here. And I'll leave your links in the comments, all of them.
Okay.
And I'm very happy and honored, by the way, can't forget that I was able to do this reading. And I'm very glad I did it as well. And that you taught
Me
us this
too.
reading.
Thank you very much. I
I
see
wish,
you Sunday.
yes, definitely, I will be there. There will be a guided meditation, path working to Wotan. And I will post the information on my YouTube in the comments again, in the, yeah, in the where you post the posts. So
Yeah.
as a reminder as well. I wish
And
everybody,
this is open to everybody
yes,
because it isn't part of the structured course.
yeah,
You know, the structured course is where I do the the ads, the runes, and then the first ad, the second ad, the third ad, 9 worlds. That is a structured course of 4 or 5 lesson classes. This one is guided meditations, and they can everybody can, well, as long as they as the Zoom can take it, you know, they can participants it's $10 and the pay button is on my website.
yes,
So if people want to give it a go, they're welcome, you know, and it doesn't cost the earth,
and it's worth
you
it.
know. Thank you. All right.
All right. I wish everybody a very pleasant day. Well, evening, because I'm gonna put it on YouTube tomorrow in the evening. So Thursday evening. May you walk with the gods.
And you too, love.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.